All right, so today I'm joined by Derek Yates, who has been making waves lately for his role in the beloved soap opera Days of Our Lives. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Of course, thank you for joining me. So tell me, how did you get involved with this soap opera, and what was your reaction when you found out that you landed a part?
Well, I got involved just like any other actor. I got the audition one day, and I was like, "Oh, it's for a soap." I'm like, "Oh, it's Days of Our Lives." Like, "Oh, it's like a really big role. Like, this is cool." And even says like, "You might come back for more." I was like, "Wow, that's like a cool opportunity." It's like we'll just do the audition and see. And honestly, it felt like really easy. Like I don't know what it was. It just felt like you just dropped into the character and the role really easily.
Mhm.
And then I got a call back, and then the casting director was like, don't change a thing. Do it exactly how you did it in the audition. Don't do anything different.
Very
And so
different.
we did that and then got the role. So it was really exciting. So originally I had 2 episodes and then that was complete. Didn't hear anything for like months, which was fine because I was still excited to have the role and the
Mhm.
opportunity. And then we find out like right before my birthday last year that they're like, hey, you're coming back. And I was like, oh, fun. So yeah, it's really cool. And it was kind of, it's been surreal just because like my mom would watch all the soaps when I was younger and have them on. So
Mhm.
you just kind of naturally around and you kind of end up watching some with her.
Yeah.
And then it's like, wow, like I'm on the same sets that were like there when I was a kid. So
Yes.
this is kind of cool.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that was my next question. Like millions of others, do you have those memories of growing up as a child and seeing it on in the background, your mom, grandma watching these kind of soaps?
Yeah, I was like, definitely my mom had them on. So it was just like, all right, this is like now I'm on that show, like, which is
Oh,
crazy to think.
yes, yes. So you played Carrie Humans. How would you describe this character, and what did you want to bring to the role?
I just wanted to like bring something grounded because I know with like soap actors get this like stigma about like being over the top or just like how the writing is and some of the situations are a little crazy sometimes. And
Mhm.
so my approach was just like how I do any other character or role, just wanted him to feel organic and real, not over the top, not over pushed. And just bring something like if you were watching like another show or movie, you're like, wow, like I wouldn't have known it was a soap kind of style
Mhm.
acting. And
Yeah.
I even had some friends tell me that after they watched it, they're like, I thought I was kind of watching a movie. I wouldn't have known I was watching Days of Our Lives if you hadn't told me. So I was like, I'll take that as a compliment.
Yes,
So,
yes, there you go. And although we were just introduced to Carrie's character recently, is there a direction you would like to see a storyline go in?
I don't know. No one's asked me that one yet. I mean, they do some crazy stuff on the show. So I know at one point I heard some rumors about where the character almost went, and then they had to pivot with some like other storyline changes.
Okay.
So like, it's already been out now that I am kind of like a villain, if you will, at the moment. So like playing the villain has been kind of fun. It's like kind of low stake villain.
Mhm.
Um, Compared to some of the other storylines. But it could be fun maybe to come back like because when I was on the show, I had my long hair because I recently cut my hair
Yeah, yeah.
because I was growing it to donate it to Locks of Love in memory of my brother.
Mhm.
And so I did that, and so it kind of be fun maybe come back as like they always do, like the twin or the oh wait, like he cut his hair so he's like reformed and he's trying to like make up for what he did, and maybe that kind of fun storyline and just kind of flip it a little bit could be interesting.
Okay, yeah, I would agree. Well, do you have any say or input with how the character is portrayed, or do they just like give you a script and like, here's what's happening, go do it?
Yeah, it's pretty much that. I mean, I got to watch some of the like other like contract players on the show
Mhm.
get to have a little bit of say. Like, it's like, oh, like I don't think my character would say it like that. So they would like talk to the producers or and the directors on set and just be like, hey, do you mind if I like reword this a little bit, or can we like change that or cut that line because it just doesn't feel right?
Yeah.
And then they would actually be open to little things like that. But I'm not sure how deep or far they go into like hey,
Okay.
I want my character to do this. And then
Yeah,
there I'm like, okay. So
yeah. Exactly. Well, Carrie is also a member of the LGBTQ plus community. How would you say this character is good for queer representation on television?
what's been interesting just talking about the character with other people because I don't think a lot of people know that even days or soaps are starting to integrate
Mhm.
LGBT into their storylines. So when I
Yeah,
told them, they're like, wait, there's a gay person on the show. And I'm like, yeah,
exactly.
they've done it for a while. Like, and they're like, oh wow, I had no idea. So it's kind of cool to introduce that to other people. Like, so if it may be reinterest, like maybe old fans coming back to watch now because there is LGBT representation, or just exciting people in general, just knowing that LGBT is being a part of like all storytelling now, like not just like only secluded into one thing or another.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Now, this is your first soap opera project?
I was on General Hospital for a really quick beat.
Okay.
I had like a one word, one line, uh, little moment, and I was playing like a server, and I actually hoped they bring me back because my role at the time was I was playing a server, and then I meet this guy out in the back alley to like get some poison to poison one of the people that I was serving. And I was like, "Ooh, that'd be kind of cool if they like brought me back and like try to pin it on me and like turn
Yeah.
like make my character bigger." They never did. So yeah, I was like, "All right, whatever." But so I did that first. That was it during the No, it wasn't during the pandemic because we weren't wearing masks. So it must have been like right before the pandemic
Okay.
that I did that. And then so yeah,
Okay. Well, with Carrie being a much bigger role, what are you taking away from this experience?
I obviously like from General Hospital, I watched how they worked, and it was pretty crazy to see how many lines that they're just like pounding out from scene to scene to scene, and you see
Mm,
them each like run away and like run their lines really quick while they're resetting the thing, and then they come back and they just like knocked it out of the park,
really?
and I was like very impressed by that. And I guess when you're not doing it, you don't realize like how hard it actually is,
Yeah.
and then when you're the one doing it, you're like, wow, I've got to like just do this. But and even though I'd seen it, I wasn't fully prepared for it in the sense of I got to my first day on days, and Greg, my scene partner, he's like, let's run lines. I was like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. Yes, please. And then he's like, cool. Like he took me under his wing, and then he's like, all right, it's time for rehearsal. And so we went for rehearsal, and then we did a like one quick run through, and they literally were like, all right, we're ready to film. And I was like, what? Like, this is not normal. Like usually you get like more time and you go back and sit in
Yeah.
your little chair and you drink some water. Like, no, like we're filming. Like, I was like, and then we knocked it out, and I was like, we did it. We did it. And so in a way, it was like, wow, like I did that. Like I didn't mess
Yeah.
up. I didn't like I knew my stuff, and so I was like really proud of myself. But then it was over really fast
It was
because
very fast
they just
paced.
go, they just go, they just go. They're like not back to back, scene to scene. They're like a well-oiled machine, and
Wow.
so it was a fun experience, but it was a quick fun experience for the
Okay.
first time. And
Yeah.
then obviously when I come back, I've got more episodes, and so an opportunity to like do more days back to back and like more scenes and longer scenes and more dialogue. So it's pushed me as an actor, and I'm very grateful for that experience for sure.
Awesome. Very nice. Well, Days of Our Lives began in 1965, and of course, it's still going strong. And there are other soap operas that have gone on even longer. What do you think is the secret to their longevity, and how much influence do they seem to have on society?
Um, I would say probably the longevity is just the fans, because I know some people who told me like, yeah, I've been watching for like 40 something years, or and they watched it with their grandmothers, and then like it's just such generational. So I think people it's really just from the fans. I think if it wasn't for the fans, obviously the show would just teeter out.
Yeah.
But I think people are just so invested in the longtime characters and the new characters coming in that that's just kind of what's made it successful.
Mhm.
And its impact on society, I don't know that answer. But just for the sake of that, art and entertainment is a way to escape and a place for comfort for a lot of people. In that sense, I'm sure, especially the longtime fans, it has to be a place for them to go 5 times a week, because it's on Monday through Friday, for them to get to watch their 20 to 30 minutes of their favorite characters and storylines and just let go for a minute.
Yeah.
So in that sense, and the fact that it's daily, it's uh and that's I would say is pretty impactful in that way.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely. Well, Derek, have you always had a passion and desire to pursue an acting career?
I would say always. I've always been around the entertainment world in some form or another because my family was really big into music. Almost
Yeah.
everybody in some form either sings or plays guitar or the drum. My dad plays the drums. Like everyone kind of did a little bit of it, and I was always around it. People playing, singing. And then when I grew up, I when I did go to church, I was part of like praise teams and choirs, and so I was just constantly around it. In high school, I was in choir. Senior year, I was the president of my concert choir even. So I kind of come by it honest in that way. So it actually led me to want to pursue a singing career first
Okay.
because it was just what I was most involved in. And then, not that I'm a bad singer, I actually think I am a pretty decent singer. I don't think I just was well fit for the industry for what they were looking for or my style of singing and voice. So I pivoted and was like, all right, let me try and like model. People were like telling me I'm like handsome and I should do it. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll try it. And then you find out like, oh, I'm a little too short for modeling. The tip, if you want to be like a professional model. So I was like, all right, let me pivot. And so then I went to this local modeling call and they were like, you should try acting. And I was like, all right, why not? Like,
Why not? Why not?
this is one more thing to try. Maybe it could be fun. And so then they put me in their classes and then they were like, you have the potential if you really want to think about pursuing this. And so I kept at it. They took me to some competitions in New York, and that's when the bug bit me and I was like, I love this. I was like, this is so fun. Like just
Yeah.
the energy and the passion for it when you're just around all these people doing the same thing, going after it. I
Mhm.
realized I was like, this is what I want to do. And
Mhm.
so it's helped that I was into modeling and singing because I'm like, I've had singing auditions. And then modeling is just another form of acting in its own way and
Mhm.
like being comfortable in your body and such. So it's all paid off getting to where I'm at now.
There you go. Perfect. Well, outside of acting, you're also a certified personal trainer who is dedicated to helping clients set realistic and progressive health and fitness goals. What is the best advice you can offer someone who wants to start a fitness journey and stay on track with it?
I always tell people because I know a lot of people wait till the first of the year, which is fantastic. Um, but sometimes it's not always best just to like wait for a certain moment. It's better just to start now because
Mhm.
there's always the ways to start now. Obviously, people have different complications in their lives and things that they do need to wait for certain moments, of course, like whether it's medical or certain health things from doctors or whatever. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But if anyone can go out for a walk or do some push-ups or just do squats in their living room while they're watching TV or sit-ups.
Watching
Like
Days of Our Lives.
exactly. There you go. And right, if you just did that for the duration of Days of Our Lives, you did like a 20-minute workout and
Nope.
got to enjoy it while you're doing it. So like even just doing that a few times a week, it's just a great way to just get your body moving. Everyone needs to be moving. Is sedentary life has been a big part of like our more recent culture, just based on
Mhm.
jobs and computers and things. So it's pretty imperative to get people up and out and moving in some form or way, even if it's just in their house.
Yeah.
And so I would say best advice, just start.
Just start.
Just do something. And if
Mhm.
it means going to the gym and just your first day doing a little quick 5-minute tour just to feel comfortable there and then leave. And second day, you're like, all right, I'm gonna do 5 minutes of cardio. And the next day you're like, I'm gonna try that one machine
Mhm.
and then 5 minutes of cardio and then leave. And like just getting yourself in some kind of rhythm and just getting used to
Yeah.
the space
Yeah.
can also be really helpful. You don't have to feel like so pressured, like I have to be there for an hour and a half to get
Mhm.
anything done. Like sometimes it's just you got to do it in increments and build up, and then you start making friends or seeing people it's like, oh, it's like my cheers. I kind of like know that person. I've seen them a bunch, and you wave or whatever. So yeah,
All right.
that's what I would say. Just start.
Let's
That's the
start.
biggest thing, and then don't give up. Like
Yeah.
if you don't like whatever you're doing, try something different. Sometimes also going to classes helps because it's more community driven,
Okay.
and you can just have the people around you like cheering you on,
Mm.
and you can help cheer them on, and yeah, and reciprocate in that way. So there's always just different ways to do it, or hire a personal trainer
There you go. There you
if you can
go.
afford it.
And you also have a deep commitment to giving back, and you work with several charitable initiatives, like you said, Locks of Love, and there's also Project Angel Food. What started all that? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so Project Angel Food, I ended up getting the CEO as a client, and I didn't even know what Project Angel Food was at the time. He found me. Excuse me. And so obviously you get to talking and you find out what they're doing and what they do their day to day is like, and then kind of find out like that he told me like how they do medically tailored meals for people who are in need in various ways or medical health conditions, and that kind of correlates with what I do with health and fitness, but more on the physical side. So it was just kind of a fun correlation and learning about that, and then wanting to be involved. So I've like been in the kitchens. I've helped using my acting abilities, like doing promos and like my social media, putting out different just information about it at all, just for people to know what's going on with it.
Mhm.
And and yeah, and helped raise money. So that's just kind of been my involvement. And now with the current state of California, if you're watching this, depending on when you're watching this, we are got fires all around us, and so it's affected even their day-to-day operations. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on getting back in the kitchens to help make sure that they have enough volunteers and seeing what else I can do to contribute in that way.
Awesome. Very nice. Well, Derek, what are some other future goals you hope to accomplish with your career?
I don't know if it's cliche. I mean, I feel like everyone says it nowadays, but like, I want to be a Marvel superhero, like
Oh
really,
my God.
really
I
bad.
just did an interview an hour ago and they said the exact same thing. They want to play a Marvel superhero.
I told you, like, I feel like it's kind of cliche at this point. I don't know if it's because we've all seen what happens to the people who get like the really good big roles. Like
Mhm.
their careers are kind of set because they get these like big, huge, long contracts for multi, picture deals. And a lot of times you get your solos, or even if you're not solo, you're like at least part of like a big team of some sort. And so you're always working, and then you make more money, and then other people want to hire you to
Mhm.
do their projects outside of it. So it's like, why wouldn't you want to do that?
Agree.
But I've also always had a fascination with superheroes. Like growing up, like always loved Batman and
Okay.
Superman and Spider-Man, watching all the cartoons all the time. So like it's always just kind of been a part of my life.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think it should be really fun. Like
It'd be
just to
fun. Of course it would.
just to go play and just be a part of that world and just learn how they do it in that world. I think it would just be it'd be pretty it'd be great. Yeah. So X-Men are coming up, so there's a lot more roles and like characters that have not ever been even like released or talked about. So like Kevin Feige, if you're listening, please let me audition. Bring me in.
Yes,
I would
bring
be
your
so
own.
good. I'd be so good.
I love it. All right.
Yeah.
How can one stay up to date with you the best?
Sorry, what was that?
How can one stay up to date with you the best?
Oh, I'm more typically on Instagram the most at the moment. So it's at Derek Yates, DerekYates, and that's the main thing. I have a Facebook profile, like threads and things like that. So on occasion I'll make separate posts, but the main's Instagram.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Then before we wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects or anything else you'd like to mention or plug at this time?
I wish there was. Unfortunately, because of all the strikes and all that kind of like slowed things down a
Yeah.
lot. So I'm very thankful that I ended up getting brought back to Days. That was a huge blessing.
Mhm.
So I would just say keep watching Days because Carrie's got a little bit more time on there. So definitely do that. And if you like Carrie and me, definitely post and talk about it. So hopefully that the higher ups are like, oh, we should bring that guy back.
Back.
Um, so yeah, that's what I would have to say.
Fantastic. Awesome.